Hi, everyone. This is Laura from Ross Draper Public Library. Hi, everyone. This is Laura from Ross Draper Public Library, and we are here with our second session for Growing with Gardens. Today, we're going to be celebrating the Earth because 2 days ago, as many of you know, it was Earth Day. So we're going to celebrate that today. And we're going to learn about how to take care of the earth and how gardens are good for the earth and how we can practice sustainability. So I see a few people jumping on. Hi, guys. Good morning. We're here for celebrating Earth Day for Growing with Gardens. So as you come in, if you didn't see the post from about 45 minutes ago, or if you didn't see in the description, if you could just gather these materials, your packets that you picked up here at the library, paper towels or wipes or both would be great, a paintbrush, water to rinse your paintbrush, so just like a cup of water, like a little bit of water, not a ton, and then markers and glue. So all of that is in the description, so if you want to go grab those things, right now would be a great time to do that. If you aren't able, no problem, because this video will be recorded and posted later, so you can come back and do things later as well. All right, so this is really exciting because this is our first time together after we've planted our seedlings. So I would love to know, what do your seedlings look like right now? I will bring mine in here. Here's my seedlings. Here's my marigolds. And here are my tomatoes. So if you could just leave a little comment, just like tell me what your seedlings are like. Did they pop up? Do you have any? What are they lit tiny? Like what size are they? I'd love to hear if yours popped up. We are going to actually pull out our garden journals. Here's my garden journal. So you can just grab your garden journal. And if you guys remember last time, we looked at these pages. So if you are younger, you might have ones that look like this. If you're a little bit older, you might have something that looks like this. Or, let me get to this next page, this as well. Okay, so today we're just going to fill in a little bit of what our seedlings look like. So, if you can grab your marker or a pencil or whatever you have around you, we're going to put something in one of these first boxes. So we're going to start tracking how our seeds are growing, how our seedlings are growing. So if you have this page, I'm just going to write in the day. So today will be day 14, because if you planted them with me 2 weeks ago, that's 14 days have passed. So I'm just going to put day 14. That's when I planted them. If you planted them a different time, you can figure that out and put that in, or you can just leave it blank. And then I'm going to count my leaves. So this is the page for my tomato plant. So I'm going to count my leaves. And if you can see, I have 2 leaves on each. So I'm just going to put 2 leaves. And then I'm going to draw a little picture of my seedling. So if you're just hopping on, we are just filling in the first square of our logs for our seedlings. So get out your seedlings and draw a little picture. I think that's kind of what mine looks like. Is that what yours looks like? Or is yours bigger or smaller? Okay, so that's all that you have to do for that page. If you want to color it, I'm just going to go on to our next page. So if you're a little bit older, you have this one. Okay, so for the first square right here, for our first, we're going to put the date. So today is April 24th. Okay, and we're going to measure them. If you don't have a ruler, no problem, because you can do this later. You can just measure quickly and just put that little measurement in your box. So my tomato plant is, I'm going to do inches. My tomato plant is 2 inches high. So I'm going to put in 2 inches. And then in the description box, you can just write something very quick, just like one word or maybe a little sentence if you'd like. I'm just going to say that my tomato plants are small with thin curved stems. What do your seedlings look like? You can put that right in that box. So that's what I did right there. I just wrote the dates, whoops, how tall they are, and then I described just a little bit of what it looks like. And then if you're older, you also have a page where you can draw your seedling. So this is tomato growth. So I'm going to say it's okay. And you can do the same thing with your marigold. I only have the tomato printed out. So for your marigold, you can write the dates, April 24th or day 14, whichever one you're doing. And then we can measure. Mine is, okay, well, one of them is taller than the other. Do you see that? So I don't know which one to do. I'm going to do the tallest one, I think. Okay. It's 2 inches too. Look at that. Okay. So I would put 2 inches in my marigold. I'm actually just going to write it on the back of this page. So it was April 24th, and my plant is 2 inches tall, and it is, so I'm going, for the description, I'm going to say one is taller than the other 3. So that makes me think, is that one going? So our seedlings are still in their very earliest stages of growth. They're very small and they're still trying to get stronger. So right now, if your seedlings have popped up, you can go ahead and take those clear plastic inside, because your seedlings don't really need that anymore. So if they've popped up, you can just take that off and set it to the side. I did want to tell you, if you guys, and let me know in the comments, if any of you have 2 sets of leaves on any of your seedlings. And what I mean by this is I have an example here. And let me try to show you. You see this one right here? Do you see how there's 2 other leaves, the tiny little leaves coming up? Do any of your seedlings have 2 sets of leaves? If they do, the second set that's coming up here, the little tiny, tiny ones, those are called a plant's true leaves. And that just means that the first leaves on your seedling, so like all of these ones here, the first leaves that you see are just the leaves that are inside the seed that are packed in there, ready to go, and they're the first leaves that come out. But once you start seeing more leaves pop up, those are a plant's true leaves, and they're going to look different. Those leaves that pop up after that first set of leaves will look like the specific plant leaves. So these leaves, you can see they look like marigold leaves because they're a little bit spiky. If you know what marigold leaves look like, they're a little bit spiky. Oh, I see. Okay, so we have a comment. We have 2 sets on the tomato and 4 on our marigolds. You have 4. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I only have to, oh wait, oh, the tiniest little tiny leaf is coming up in the center. So, but I technically only have 2 sets. That's awesome that you have 2 in your tomatoes. Your seedlings must be so healthy. They're growing nice and strong. So yeah, those other sets of leaves that come up after the first one are the true leaves. So it's exciting to see what the plant's leaves are going to look like once those other sets start coming up. Then the last thing I wanted to tell you about your plants at this stage of growth is that you want to water them, but don't always have water sitting in the bowl. So if you always have water sitting in the bowl, the plant will be always really soggy, and that's not super good for the plant. You kind of want the plant to have a good drink and then just give it a break first. So you can let it soak up that water and then just give it a break. Once you see that the top of the soil is starting to get a little bit dry, it might turn lighter brown, then you can put more water in it. Great job taking care of your seedlings. I am so excited to hear about them. So if you're watching this later, you can even comment later or put a picture in of your seedlings. I would love to see pictures of your seedlings. That'd be super fun. So let's get started for Earth Day. So we're going to kick this off with a little game, and we're going to stand up for this game. Okay. Let me move my screen so that you can see me. All right. This game, I'm going to tell you guys different things, like different actions. And if they're good for the earth, we are going to run in place, okay? And if they're bad for the earth, we're just going to stand still. So at home, I want you guys to either run in place or stand still when I say the actions. Okay. So I will start with using plastic bottles. Is using plastic bottles good for the earth or bad for the earth? If it's good, run in place. If it's not, stay standing still. Are you guys standing still? Because I am. So using plastic bottles isn't the best for the earth because plastic bottles create a lot of waste because you only use them once usually and then you just throw them away. And they also have, when plastic is being made, it releases harmful chemicals into the atmosphere. So it kind of pollutes the earth. So grab that reusable water bottle and just keep filling it up. All right. Next one is picking up litter. What do you guys think? Run in place if it's good, stand if it's not. Absolutely. Picking up litter is great because it prevents garbage from going into the water and polluting the earth. So great job with that. How about planting a tree? Have you guys ever planted a tree? I haven't, but I'd like to. Yes, planting trees is so good. Planting trees is one of the best things you can do for the earth because plants use carbon dioxide for food, which is bad for the earth, and they just soak it up. So they take it away from the atmosphere and they soak it up for food, and then they release oxygen, which helps us breathe and makes the earth healthy. So trees are so important for taking care of the earth. All right, using a reusable bag. Run in place if this is good, stand if it's not. Give you a couple seconds. Absolutely. Use that reusable bag because when you go to the store, kind of like water bottles, and you get those plastic bags, they're very wasteful because you only use them once and then you just throw them away. So it's really good to use your reusable bag. All right, a couple more. Taking long showers. Run in place, or run in place if it's good, stand still if it's not. I'm standing still because when you take really long showers, it uses a lot of water, and water is a limited resource. So if we use too much of it, it will go away. So we have to just be careful about how much water we use. Okay, two more. Planting a garden. I think you guys know this one. Super good, super good. Planting a garden is so good for the earth because it just gets you out in nature, first of all, but it helps you grow your own food, which is a lot healthier for the earth. And a lot of food that you buy in the store comes in plastic, lots of packaging in plastic. So that's wasteful too. So when you grow your own food in your garden, it's really helpful for the earth, and you also get to appreciate the beauty of nature. Okay, last one, recycling. Of course. Okay, recycling. Obviously, recycling is so good because it cuts down on the amount of garbage that goes in landfills. Landfills are where all of your garbage goes. So when you recycle, all of that stuff that you recycled doesn't have to go into the landfill where it just sits and pollutes the earth. Okay, and we are going to see how creative you can get by stopping and thinking about what you're throwing away. With our next activity, we are going to just look at a few ideas for recycling and reusing materials that you might have around your house. Do you guys have these things around your house? So what I have here is plastic utensils, a water bottle, a milk carton, an egg carton, and plastic bag. It's probably really loud. All right. Now, I'm going to show you a few ideas to use these things in your garden. So you don't have to throw them away. You can make things out of them and put them in your garden. And I would love to hear, as I'm doing this, if you guys have ever done this with anything, if you've ever taken something that you were going to throw away and used it for something else or used it for your garden, I'd love to hear about that. So if you want to, you can put it in the comments or you can just shout it out at home. Okay, so the plastic bottle. This can be any plastic bottle, water, soda, tea, anything. You can make these beautiful garden decorations. These are beautiful. And last year, I made these in a recycled crafts video. So the instructions for that is actually on our YouTube channel if you wanted to check that out. But it's really simple. You just cut up the bottle and you make it into petals and then you paint it and you can stick it out in your garden and it's beautiful. Okay, so that's an idea for that one. What about these plastic utensils? What do you guys think? I mean, what could we use these for in the garden? Well, we can make plant markers. So you need to know what plant is which in your garden and you put something in it to tell you what it is and label it. You can use plastic utensils that you were going to throw away. So they had garlic, chives, parsley, sage, all kinds of different things in their garden. And they marked that with plastic utensils and they painted them. So that's a really fun idea. Okay. Now, milk jug. This one can be used for so much. I was having a hard time picking just one. So you can look up ideas for this too. There's so many. But I did pick this one. This one can be made into a planter. So if you cut it in half, you can plant something in the bottom and then you can put the top on to protect the plant. Or you can just use the bottom. That one is so useful because you can just store up a bunch of these, save them, and then plant all your plants in them. Okay, put this down here. All right. Now, egg cartons. What do you think? What do you think? Well, you can make them into little tiny seedling pots. So you can put soil in them and you can put your seeds in there and look how many it holds. And the fun thing about egg cartons and using egg cartons for seedlings is that you can actually plant entire egg carton piece like this. If you cut it out, you can plant it all in the garden if it's this recycled cardboard paper because it will break down in the soil. So you don't even have to take the seedling out and put it in the garden. You can just put the whole thing in the garden. So that one's so useful. And then the last one is a plastic bag. Have you guys ever made anything with a plastic bag? I haven't, but I found this. This is a basket made out of plastic bags. So they braided the plastic bags and they connected them all together and they made this basket. I found all of these on the internet, so you can look up the instructions for these activities and you can do them with recycled materials around your house. This you could use for so many things. You could put a pot in it and make a pretty planter with it, or you could put garden tools in it. You could put things that you harvest from your garden, like when you pick your tomatoes, you can put it in here. There's lots of ideas for using things that you are going to throw away. And that if you did throw them all away, they would end up in landfills. But there's so many ideas to reuse. And we are going to see one of those ideas right now. So if you get out your stuff that you got in your take-home bag, you'll see egg carton pieces like I was talking about. And then you have your paint, so you can get out each color of paint. And then you have these little pieces of paper. So there's a green one, get that out. And then the blue pieces, pipe cleaner, and a pom-pom. Okay. Now, we're going to start by painting our egg carton pieces. So you can get your paintbrush out. Here's my paintbrush. You might want to put these on paper towels. Okay. So one of these we're going to paint blue. Now, before you start, make sure you have the one that has the hole in the top. So grab that one, the one that has the hole in the top, and paint that one blue. So just use a little bit of paint. Only use as much paint as you need. Like, don't just layer it on there, like a ton of it, because we're going to be using this paint for all three of our activities. So just go ahead and start painting all of your egg carton piece blue. And while we sit here, I want to tell you about a few more ideas for being sustainable in your garden. And do you guys know what that word means, sustainability? Well, it means that you use resources in a way that makes sure that they don't run out for future generations. Whoops, I dropped it. So you use natural resources like water, metal, stone, coal, in a way that we could keep doing that for a long time. So kind of like, just think about that shower idea. You know, you try not to use a ton of water because you want to make sure that there's water for the future. So anyway, being sustainable is kind of just like being kind to the earth. So some ideas for your garden. Okay, mine, I'm pausing. Okay, I finished my blue one. I set it to the side. If you didn't, no rush, don't worry. I'm starting my green one. So yeah, sustainability is like being kind to the earth and making sure that we aren't being greedy with resources. So in your garden, a couple ideas for being sustainable is not using a ton of water. So in the garden, we use a lot of water, right? Because we need to water those plants. We don't want them to die if they're dry. So it's hard to not use a lot of water in the garden. But a couple ideas are that you could collect rainwater. So there are things called rain barrels. But if you don't have a rain barrel just collects the rainwater in a big barrel. If you don't have a rain barrel, you could even use like a garbage can, like a big garbage can or something, or a bucket. You can just try this out and see if it works. You can set it outside, and when it rains, that will fill up, and then you'll have water, and you can reuse that water to water your plants. Have you guys ever done this? I think it's a pretty good idea for cutting back on water. And also another good idea for cutting back on water is making sure that you don't when you're watering your plants that you don't just let the water run off everywhere. So when you water your plant, just put the water onto the plant and kind of don't like slosh around everywhere, because that water could just run off and kind of be wasted. So those are a couple ideas for being sustainable in your garden. And of course, we had a lot of ideas with using our recyclable materials like the milk carton, the plastic bottle, and stuff like that. You can make a lot of things for your garden out of things you already have at home that might be thrown away otherwise. Okay, guys, I finished my green. Like I said, if you didn't finish your green, or if you didn't finish both of them, no worries. You can come back later and paint them. You can pause this if you're watching it later. Okay, I'm rinsing out my brush, wiping off my hands, because we are going to pause with this craft. If you can just kind of slide it over somewhere, because we're going to wait for this to dry just a little bit before we do the next step. Just slide it over. And we're going to get out our next activity, which is our Earth Day keychain. So Miss Kelly and I kind of matched on our crafts. Oh, I missed this comment. We have rain barrels and use a drip irrigation system in the garden. That is awesome. Yes, a drip irrigation system is also another way to save on water. It kind of slowly releases the water to the individual plants so that they only get what they need and not too much water, and water isn't wasted. That's amazing ways to be sustainable in the garden. Great job. Okay. Now we're getting out our little, this is in your bag too. Can you guys find this? This is a little circle charm. Okay. Just put it on a paper towel and get out your paintbrush again. We're going to paint the earth. So you guys can paint the earth. You can look at a picture of the earth and paint the continents and like the oceans. You can paint like the exact shapes of the earth. You can draw on your charm with a pencil first if you want to, but you can just paint your little charm here. And or if you don't want to do that, you could do whatever design you'd like to do. You can just do swirls. Either way, it will remind you of the earth because it's green and blue, like land and water. So this keychain is just meant to remind you of the earth every day, because Earth Day is one day, but it's actually every day, because every day we need to take care of the earth. So this keychain is to remind you of that. So every time you see it, you can think, what can I do for the earth today? So let's get out our paintbrush, and I'm just going to dip. I'm going to look at a picture of the earth. I'll hold it up just in case you guys want to look at it too. I'm going to kind of try to paint mine like that. It's just probably going to look like blobs, but I'm going to try. So I'm painting the green right now. You guys can paint whichever one you'd like first. Oh, another way to be sustainable in your garden is using fertilizer that is earth friendly. So a lot of fertilizers have harsh chemicals in them, and they can kind of hurt the earth and the soil when it goes in there. So what you can do is buy organic fertilizers, or even make your own fertilizer. We're going to be learning about fertilizer more later on in our session. Not this session, sorry, in our program, Growing with Gardens. Later on in the summer, we're going to be learning about fertilizer and soil. Okay, I kind of did the green parts. It does look like blobs. I don't know, you guys are probably doing better than me. I think it's really nice just to have any green and blue design that you can make. Because like I said, you'll know what it is, and it'll remind you to love the earth. All right, so I'm just about finished with this side. Now, once again, if you aren't done, no rush. You can set it to the side and finish it later if you're watching live, or if you're watching this later, you can pause and finish painting it. All right, here is, I'm going to put this down. Here's mine. Anytime you want to show me something, I'd love to see pictures. You can put them in the comments anytime. Or you can even show me when you come to pick up supplies or whatever. I really miss seeing what you guys do, all the cool things you create. Okay, so while that dries, we're going to do another switch. So good. You can put this to the side, and we're going to bring back our recycled animal carton, or recycled egg carton animals. Okay, mine's still a little bit wet, so if this works, great. If it's too wet, you can do it later, and it might be better to do it later because it does feel a little bit wet and it might not stick, but I'm going to try because I want to show you guys how to do this. Okay, so you can bring out your blue piece that looks like a tail. This is your whale tail. Okay, and get your glue. Okay, so I folded up this much. Like, it doesn't really matter. Just fold a little tab. It can be bigger than this, a little bit bigger than this, smaller than this, just about that much. Fold it, okay? And then put your glue. I hope my glue comes out because this glue is really giving me trouble. Okay. Wow. You have to be really strong to want to use this glue. You know, when glue gets all sticky, I poked a toothpick through it, but I don't know. Okay, I'm opening it. I'm just going to I'm actually going to dip a paintbrush in to mine, but I'm sure your glue works better than mine. I couldn't find any good ones this morning. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto my whale right here. If you can see this, I think you can. Yeah. Okay. So then we're going to get our little blue piece. I'm going to get paint on my fingers, definitely, but that's okay. That's all part of it. And you're going to, in the back, just glue it inside of the egg carton and squeeze. Now, it's going to take a minute to dry. So if it's falling off, that's okay. It's probably going to fall off a little bit at first. And later, if it's still falling off, you can use tape, try gluing it again, just leaving it sit by itself. So here's mine. Okay. Okay. Now you're going to get out your other little blue pieces. These are your little fins, flippers. Okay, I can't remember what they're called. Do you guys know? Fins, maybe. All right. Okay, we're going to get these out and put them on the sides, just like this. Okay, if you can see, we're just putting them on the side, anywhere. I'm just going to get a little bit more of my glue, like this. Okay, there we go. Put it on the side, press it in. This one you might have to hold for a second or just let it sit very gently and don't bump it because it has to dry. Oh, I did the wrong side. That's okay. You know, I think it gives it a little extra character and a little flair. Okay, it's upside down, but I can fix it later. All right, so those are gluing on there. And then if you guys have a marker or if you guys have googly eyes, you can glue them on to your whale. Just like this and get your fingers all gluey because it's so hard to hold googly eyes. Okay. Just put them anywhere on the front to give it a little face. It's so cute. Okay, all right. And then we're going to draw a little bit of a smile. I did that upside down. Okay, here's mine. Oh, I forgot. Last part. Your pipe cleaner pieces. You guys have 2 pieces. Bend them in the middle. Just like this. So there's 2. I forgot to cut mine. Don't pay attention to that. Okay. There's 2. All right. and bend them down the center and then stick them through your hole. Just like that. So they're poking out of the top. And what is this supposed to be? What do you guys think? Water, because whales blow water. Like that. Okay. Okay. This is so cute. I love it. You can set this anywhere. You can set it inside. You can even put it outside. It probably won't last very long with the weather, but that's your little whale. Let's do the turtle. Okay, the turtle, you're taking your little legs and tail piece, and you're just going to set that flat on your table, and you're going to take glue and spread it. Pick up your egg carton piece, your green piece, and spread it along the bottom edges, just like this. Okay, so we just want to spread it on the bottom edges. Get it nice and gluey. If you're using a squeeze bottle, just squeeze it on or squeeze it onto the paper any way you can. Just get your turtle piece to stick onto your paper. Okay, that's going to dry. And then I'm going to get out my pom-pom and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it. This might be a little bit difficult because pom-poms always want to fall off. So you might have to sit there and hold it. Oh, mine's sticking a little bit. All right. Now, you can squeeze little dots of glue and put pom-poms on, googly eyes on your pom-pom for eyes, or you can just use a marker and make 2 little dots. Either way is great. I'm going to put my little eyes on, and I dropped one. Oh, I saved it. Okay. Just put those little eyes on there. You can draw a smile if you want to. And I'm going to hold my head on while I show it to you guys because it's probably going to fall off. And there's the turtle swimming through the sea. Okay, everything's falling apart because I didn't let it dry. All right. So you could just leave those alone to dry. I'm going to slide it right over. Great job. I know they're so cute. This is a good reminder to protect the oceans because a lot of garbage ends up in the ocean. So all those things that we were talking about, like recycling, picking up litter, that all helps whales and turtles in the ocean. Okay. Now we are going to finish our keychain. So bring over your keychain. At this point, you can paint the other side of your keychain. I am not going to do that right now because mine's still wet a little bit. And if I put it on the other side, it would mess it up. So it'd be great if you could pause this or go back or just finish it after the video's over. You can just paint the other side, the same thing or different. It's up to you. I'm just going to show you how to finish it though. So you have your little keychain cord. It's in your bag. You might need an adult to help you with this because it's a little bit tricky. But you're going to you have 2 beads in your bag. 2 beads. Just thread those beads onto your cord. Just like this. Okay, there's 1 bead. And here's my other bead. So here's my beads on my cord. Okay. Now, before you attach your charm to this, pick what you want your keychain to go on. So I have a key ring right here, but if you have like a necklace or like something else, you can hang it on something. So you don't even have to do this part if you don't want to. But if you want to attach it to something like this, you're going to thread it through. And then this is the part where it gets a little tricky. So you might have to ask someone for help. You can thread this part through, loop it through, and then it falls apart, of course. I bet an adult knows how to help you with this. So if you don't know how, you can ask. Okay, and then it goes like this. It loops through and then you pull it tight. Like I said, you can also hang this on something. It doesn't have to be attached to anything. And then you're just going to open your little clasp here. And then you're going to attach your charm to your clasp like that, because there's a little loop on your charm. And there's your keychain, your earth keychain, to remind you every day of the earth. Okay. Great job with that. All right. So now we have our last activity. You did get 2 journal papers this time. So you have these at home. This one is just ideas to help you be more earth friendly. So you can go ahead and just put that one in your binder. You don't have to do it right now. You can do it after. I set that one to the side. This is our Earth Day fingerprint art. All that we're going to do is we're going to take our leftover paint. So here's my blue and here's my green. And you're just going to dip your finger into the paint, just lightly. You don't need to cover your whole finger in the paint. We're going to use our fingerprint to fill this earth. So in the water section, remember this is what it's supposed to look like. In the water, the oceans, we're going to use our blue and we're going to put our fingerprint down, not finger painting, just press it down once and take it away. And then keep doing that all over the blue part. So this is what mine's starting to look like. So fill up the ocean part with your blue fingerprint. Great job. The reason we're doing this is because did you know that everyone's fingerprint is different? That's so many different fingerprints. There's so many people and every single person has a different fingerprint. It's unique to each person. And just like we all have a different fingerprint, we all have different ways and talents and strengths to help the earth. So we're all good at different things. So you can do something that you're really good at to help the earth. Maybe you're really good at talking to people. You can tell people about the earth. Maybe you're really good at art. You can create art that shows people how important it is to love the earth. I think my blue is just about finished like that. Okay. All right. Moving on to green. I'm going to wipe off my finger on my paper towel. This is where wipes come in handy. And I'm going to move on to green. So as you do this, I'd love for you guys to think about what is a way that you are going to help the earth. What's your favorite way that you help the earth? Maybe you already do a lot of things. And what's your favorite way to help the earth? I know that we each have our own talents and strengths. I mean, and you all are doing one right now. You're gardening, which is a great way to help the earth, like we talked about. All right, mine's just about finished. So if you look at the bottom of the page, if you can read it, or you can have an adult help you read it, it says, I can leave my mark on the earth. And just like we marked this paper with our fingerprints, you can leave your mark on the earth. And that just means that you can do things to change the way the earth is treated. So if you pick up litter, you changed the fact that something was going to just end up thrown away in the weeds, in the water. You changed that and you left your mark and you made it better because you picked up that litter and maybe you recycled it or you just got rid of it so it wasn't left in the wild where it could harm the earth. Great job, guys. You can finish this one later too if you didn't finish when I finished. Beautiful. I would love for all of these to be hung up in the library somewhere. But you can hang them up in your house. I think that is just so beautiful. All right. I'm going to finish off our session with magic. This is a magical experiment that shows us how magical the earth is. Okay, you guys can do this at home after I've done it. It's really easy if you have the things at home to do it. But I want you guys to watch and see what happens. This is milk. And I'm putting this in a bowl. I'm just filling the bottom of the bowl with it. It doesn't have to be a lot. And then I'm taking blue food coloring, and I'm doing little drops. Hopefully you're going to be able to see this. I'm putting drops of food coloring in my bowl, and I'm taking green, and I'm also doing green. Now, okay, I'm not sure if you can see it. And what we're going to do, because I figured this might happen, is we're going to take this bowl and try it in this bowl too, because you'll be able to see this better. Okay, so here's the milk, and here's our food coloring. Here's green. We're going to do green first. Just do little drops of green everywhere. I'm going to push my computer back a little bit. There you go. You can see it a little better. And then we're going to do blue. We're going to do blue and green just like the earth, like water and land. And then take dish soap and put a little tiny bit on my finger. And then all you do is touch the milk with your dish soap. Did you guys see that? Hopefully you can see it. And if you didn't, you can do it at home after this video. I'm going to do it in the big bowl. And what I'm going to do is try to hold my computer up so you can see it. Here we go. I have my dish soap. And look at the swirls. It looks just like the swirly planet we call our home, doesn't it? Wow. It's so fun to do this. And it just makes me think that the earth is magical. All of the beautiful things that live and grow on the earth, and all of the ways that the earth takes care of us. It's just magical, and we can help and give back and take care of the earth. So I would love everyone to say, thank you, earth. Thank you, gardens. We are so grateful for the earth. And that is the end of our session today. I did want to tell everyone that in the description of this video is a link to the Bitmoji room. So if you go over there, there's extra activities to do for Earth Day, or you can take out your papers that you got from last time. If you picked up the activities packet, you got papers, you can pull those out and do some more Earth Day coloring and activities like that. And then I also wanted to mention that to hop onto Beanstack, because you completed another badge today. You did the sustainability badge. So you can collect that one, get the ticket, put it towards some prizes. So make sure you jump in with Beanstack. And I also will mention that registration is open for the next session on birds. So we're going to be talking about birds. We're going to do bird activities. So make sure you sign up for those materials. They will be available to be picked up today, the 24th, Friday, the 30th, and next Tuesday, May 4th. So I'm so excited to hear more about your plants along the way. Thank you guys so much for celebrating the earth today with me, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.